Kính chào quý khán giả. Tôi tên là Trung Tử Bửu, là mục sư Trung Tử Bửu, đang ngồi trong nhà của Akiane.Vob và tôi đang ở phía bắc của tiểu bang Idaho, ở một thành phố gọi là Post Falls, và tôi đang phỏng vấn Akiane về những kinh nghiệm giữa cô bé với lại Đức Chúa Trời. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ nghe những cái câu trả lời của Akiane, và sau đó thì tôi hy vọng rằng những điều này có thể tôi sẽ làm phụ đề bằng tiếng Việt, bởi vì nếu mà dịch từng câu thì rất là lâu mà chúng tôi thì không có nhiều thì giờ. Akiane, I would like to send a greeting from Vietnamese community to you.
Really? Oh wow, that'd be awesome.
And everyone who heard about your story, they have been very fascinated about your story, how God has been doing in your life. So can you tell our viewer how did you meet God at age 4? Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you tell?
Well, at the beginning, I didn't even know the word God. My parents, they didn't want anything to do with God. We didn't pray. We didn't go to church. We didn't just do anything that's involved with God. But one day when I think when I was sleeping, when I was walking, something just in my mind, the word God, and I knew I had to find out what that meant, or who it was, or who someone. It was just so amazing. That word was so powerful. And the next day that I knew, God showed me heaven, and heaven was so beautiful, and He started talking to me about my future events. Started talking to me about my family, and I knew this person, this divine person, is so great. I want to tell other people about it, and that's how I started with art. He gave me the gift of art, and with the painting, with the money from my painting that for my art, I just give it to other children around the world for charities. And when I was 7 years old, He gave me another gift of poetry, and I used it. And each time when I write poetry, I'm still shocked because I can't feel that I'm writing. It's like I'm writing effortlessly. I don't feel anything, and I see these powerful words. And even my mom, my parents, my friends, they can't understand. Even I can't. So, and these two gifts from God, I wanted to share with others. So I'm here today with you today.
Well, I have your book right in front of me, right on my lap right here. And in the book, your mother said that you have never watched TV before. That's correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And you described to your mom that God is light,
yes,
warm and good. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Well, the first time when I saw Him, it was like looking at sun, but without being blinded. But later, when I got older, it started getting me clearer and clearer of the form of Him. Right now, I still can't get the full form or what He is right now. When I get older, He will reveal Him to me later. But each time when I look at Him, I get more inspiration, and just His eyes are showing. And each time when I paint, I see those eyes, and it gives me more inspiration.
So you said that the form of God, that is light,
Mm-hmm.
light. And can you see His eyes?
Yes, you could. Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's very, very powerful.
Oh, okay. Now, you told your mom about the future of the universe and the earth. Can you tell our viewers, tell our viewers about a little bit about that, or as much as you can?
Well, I can't remember that far ago, but I could remember that I was talking to my family about like what's going to happen like in tomorrow with like my mom's going in this store and she's going to pick up these things and there's a lot of things that I've told my mom that was huge, but I don't know, I forgot them all. But all I can remember that it was I was telling very in detail about those future events.
But right now you forgot them all?
Yes, and only I told my mom to write those visions in a diary, and once in a while I look at them and say, I remember that place, I remember that thing that God showed me. And so
can you tell a little bit about the diary? What did she write about that? Well,
one of the visions that I saw was a scroll of light, and that was like filled with words and that I don't even know, but each time when I look at it, there are like millions of meanings, and it was like miles upon miles of that scroll, and it only took me a couple seconds to read them all. And I told my mom to write them down, and the first thing I told her was a scroll of light, and she started writing like how big it was, how wide it was, and some sentences like it was I can't remember the exact thing that I told her, but it was very extraordinary. Even each time when I finish what I'm telling her, I'm very surprised. And I'm saying I have to keep this forever. So
okay, you encounter the angels, did you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, can you describe your encounters with angels? How they look and how many kind of angels that you have met?
Well, I've painted 2 angels, but I saw them in veils, and that veil is built with faith, and without that veil you will not be called as an angel, and just as the faith just builds onto you, and that's what becomes a veil, and it's like power from God. And one of the angels that I painted was she's communicating with God. She's telling him what happened on earth, what we should do, and it's like a communication. And God's breath is so powerful. You can see her hair is flowing, and it's just the angels are so many different kinds. It could be anything. It could be an animal. It could be a person. It just matters how much love and how much caring and faith they have.
It's so interesting. Very interesting. I wish that my eyes can see once. Okay, you described to your mom in this book that you've been in heaven and it's a house of light.
Yes.
And it's so big and it's circle. When I read this, I just could not imagine. I could not imagine how figure out. Can you tell us about that too?
Well, in heaven I've saw many things. I just can't. There's like a eternity. Let me just put in that it's like eternity heaven. That's it. And I just saw maybe like 1,000,000%. There's so many things, but what I've seen was landscapes of waterfalls, just in so many beautiful colors, but we don't have it on earth. There's like lots of other different kinds of colors that we don't know yet. And we have blue, pink, and black, and many other ones, but they're completely different. And they're so bright, and there's so much contrast, and the flowers are so beautiful. They have they're real, but inside of it's a crystal, like a crystal tear. I don't know, and when I picked it up, I just felt so much like it. I felt like free, and it was so beautiful, and many more things that I have to keep a secret. Because for me and God have a little secret. You know, He wants, you know, all of people out there to figure out themselves. But I shared so many things with my mom, and I have to try to remember it.
So how many times have you been in heaven?
Well, one time, the first time, it felt my whole life there, but it only has been a couple hours. But I was physically gone. There was an incident, well, not an incident, it was a disappearance. That's what my mom and dad call it. It was in Missouri. I was, the first time when I met God, I was 4 years old. Then right away I was kind of lifted up by God's hand. And my parents were such in shock. They have been calling the FBI, the police, the army, you know, anything they could find. They just, I don't know, a whole while in Missouri were looking for me. And then we had a opening, and where the door was, and I started walking there. And then my mom was, she didn't believe that I was walking to her, and she had to look twice, and she started crying, and she says, "Where have you been?" I was like, "Well, I have been somewhere? Why were you looking for me?" And I saw these policemen all over the place, and I says, "Mom, don't tell me. I was just gone for a couple hours with God. I was in heaven. Well, what's so wrong?" And at that time, she didn't, you know, didn't actually, you know, believe me. She didn't fully, you know, involved. And then I started telling these stories that I've seen, and many things, and that's what gradually converted her.
Yes, in your book, you described to your mom about the trees in heaven.
Yes.
And their yummy fruit. Can you tell us about the trees and the fruit and the leaves there?
They all have one thing in common. They're very beautiful and very. Each time when you see it, you like feel like you wanna be like it. They're so soft. So you just like climb up a tree, and you could just smell the incense in it, and it's like all the incense combined to one, and it's all the smells, and it is just so beautiful. You could stay there like all day for eternity. It's just very beautiful up there. I just can't describe how it is.
Oh, okay. Now, how did God teach you to draw? You know, that is the mystery.
Oh, it is a mystery even to me, but all I could know at that particular point, that at first I thought that, you know, every other girl and boy my age could do the same thing, you know, like a 4-year-old, you know. Then when I started looking at children my age, and they'd been scribbling on pieces of paper, it's like, come on, that's not realistic. Come on, you can do something better. But I started realizing, like, wow, this is very different. No one else has this gift, you know. And at a 4-year-old, you know, you know, it's like it's nothing to them. When I started, you know, looking, drawing, and God, this is a remarkable miracle. And then I started drawing these circles and faces, but mostly faces that I've seen in heaven and on earth, like my mom I've drawn, and it was so remarkable at that point.
Well, for the drawing, you know, I'm still wonder. It's just naturally came to your mind and your talent.
Yes.
Or, you know, God has to teach you, okay, you have to draw like this, or you have to draw like that, and this color. Did he teach you that, or
Yes, he did.
Just tell a little detail about that to our
Well,
viewers.
when I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, I go downstairs. I have no idea what my paint is going to be, but when I put the paint on the palette, I take a paintbrush and I dip it in the paint. Right when I was about to put it on the canvas, like, so many ideas just come to mind. It's like a human computer. There's so much more. But when I put it, I have more ideas and more ideas, make that a little brighter. But his hand is like working through me. That's how I feel. And he's like right behind me. He's like, and I don't know how he does it. It's just so mysterious.
Oh, I see. So, every time you paint, that he just right there to teach you.
Yes.
It's not
even when I'm on a plane and I'm drawing something, because it's kind of boring on the plane sometimes. So when I draw something, I just feel him. I don't know how he does it. It's just really full of energy.
Well, in this book, you told about you fly on top of huge birds.
Yes.
Well, can you tell about those birds, and where did they bring you to?
I can't remember that far, but I can remember that me and my brother, Jean-Lo, we've been flying on birds. And then the birds were huge, like huge swallows or huge eagles, and then we were on top of them. We saw the whole world, and we saw space, and it was just so amazing. It was like in my dream, and the same night my brother dreamed the same thing about it, exact same thing, and we were like there together, almost physically there, and even he was there and he saw everything, and it was amazing.
Okay, now you heard the music in heaven.
Oh, that's the best part of it.
So you can tell about that too?
Well, on Earth there's like music like drums and violin and saxophone but up there I can describe how beautiful it is. It's all music, all different kinds of music combined into one, but even if it's jazz or hip-hop or anything, everyone loves it, and it's all combined into one, and everyone likes their own beat, and plus there's like violin and piano there and harps and there's so many things, but it wasn't those kind of instruments. It's very different, and there's like many more instruments. They're huge, and it's like a vibration. The whole heaven here it's very beautiful.
Well, I don't know how to imagine it, because the way you describe it is too wonderful.
Yes.
Too wonderful. And that's why you don't want to listen to any kind of worldly music. I can understand that. Okay. Now, you're not only painting, but also you wrote a lot of poems, and
yes.
and I can say that's more than world class. Not only world class, but because I'm a poet myself.
Really?
I won the first place in the poet contest.
Wow.
but when I read those, mine is nothing. So can you tell our viewer about your poems? How did it come, and how did they develop until today?
Well, at first, when I was 7 years old, I used poetry as my homeschooling, and at the time I was homeschooling, and it took me like a week to do 2 sentences, and it was so frustrating. I wanted to rhyme, and it didn't work out. But when I got like 8, I started when I was 8 years old. At the point when I was going to write poetry, so many ideas just came to my mind, and I just couldn't write them down fast enough because 8-year-old hand is really tired. So I told my brother and my mom to write them down because they have a really fast hand. So I told my mom, and she's like, wait, I can't write that fast. I've been shooting like many ideas and many sentences, and even like some people, scientists call me and they said, what does that mean? Like, I don't know, I just write them down. And there's so many, if you really concentrate on one sentence, there is like a whole entire book behind that first sentence. And even the poet, and can't understand it. It's just very hard.
Now that you said that the messages in your poems somehow is coded, can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Well, my poetry is, first I want to say is, my poetry is so when each time when I look at my poetry, I felt like I'm like reading someone else's book, and that's how I paint. Poetry and art are like combined together, and I write many poems for my paintings, and then describes the meaning behind the paintings, and even people can't understand it, and I have to try to explain to them, but it's only like 10% what really got the meaning to me. And oh gosh, it's so hard to explain. It's just so wonderful to get the ideas and to get the paintings with the ideas, and so
yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I just can't understand.
Sometimes me either. I can't either.
In this book, you said that you love spending time with God and thinking how you could help others.
Yes.
Yeah, we would like to hear about that also.
Well, each time when I sit in a quiet room and when I talk to God, His voice is very, very strong, very deep, but very quiet and very soft at the same time. Each time when I talk to Him, there was, oh gosh, I don't know, I can't explain what I saw.
About the how to help the world.
Oh yes, yes. And when I talk to Him, He gives me more ideas, more paintings to do. And I know there was one meaning behind what He gave me is with that money for my paintings, a big portion of the money goes to the charities. And my goal is to travel all around the world, and in Asia and Europe, Africa, everywhere. And when I help more people, I feel better. When I give more, I feel better. And it's just, I don't know, some people say, I want to go shop and it makes me calm down. I want to eat and it makes me calm down. But when I give like clothes away, when I give money and food away, and I feel a lot better. I don't know how to explain it.
You have a very good heart, the heart that helping others. That is the heart of God.
Thank you.
I believe that. Now you said that God showed you the universe, the endless universe, its past and its future.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so interested about that. So can you tell us?
Well, there's so many galaxies in the universe. Of course there is. But the ones I saw was like red, like dark red, orange and green, and all the colors are so, out of this world, and it is out of this world. And they're like circles, they're like hands and faces, and stars were formed as an animal or anything. And when I went to the universes, and I felt like I went through all the universe, and because I've been so many places, I could count up to like, I don't know, 1 trillion of them. There was one, was a particular one, was a blue, and there's like dots all around it, and it was shaped like an eye. Like I felt like God was like watching me the whole time, and He's been putting His hand on me and showing me to all these places that He's created, and it's just so amazing. It's so hard to explain to other people. It's like you have to be there by yourself. But it's just so it's breathtaking.
Now, you said that it's past, but now how about its future?
It is. And it's past, present, and future. And the future, if you sometimes when you go into the universe, you could see your own future life in there. Like, I don't know, if you see a star there, and like separates from the other star, you could see yourself as that star, or as that universe, or as that galaxies, and you could see yourself in there. And that's why he said the future.
Okay, now come to one piece of art that you have been painted. That's the Prince of Peace.
The Prince of Peace, yes.
That story is fascinating also.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us from the beginning how God put Jesus' face in your mind, and how that carpenter appeared,
Yes. Well, it all started when I was 8 years old. I've been looking for a model that would, just a little bit, represent what I saw in my mind. That was Jesus. But I was looking in, I was looking in shops. I was looking in Walmart and many other places, and I just